An area where homeless people are known to camp is washed away after floodwaters force a dam to release water downstream. Authorities have now pulled a body out of that campsite outside of Laurel.
And for this town, the problems are far from over right now. In fact, the mayor has declared an emergency, ordering an evacuation of part of this town ahead of the flooding. But those in the camp, well, they had no such warning. And Horace Holmes joins us now with the story tonight. Horace.
He talked about a mess. There's a real mess here in Laurel. You can see the floodwaters here behind me, and we're just off of Main Street. That encampment of homeless people, as you said, had no warning. They were down there downstream when the waters came in, and many of them who were down there were trapped. The water rose quickly this morning and overtook this camp of homeless people hidden in the woods off Route 198. By late morning, rescue workers had to move in and pull out those who found themselves trapped.
Couldn't even hear it coming. It was just, you wake up, you look out the door, and there's a bunch of water. And it just keeps on rising and rising.
Ernest and his friend Lisa were asleep in their tent with their dogs when the floodwaters began to rise around 3 this morning. By sunrise, they decided to leave, reached high ground, looked back, and saw all the tents in the encampment underwater. Ernest says 21 people live down here in this area they call Death Camp.
We realized they was underwater. I mean, there was no way they would have to swim for it.
We saw Mateo soaking wet as he climbed out of the woods. He says he was one of 5 who decided to ride out the storm last night. Everyone else went to a shelter. He left, but got separated from his friend Tubby and a young woman they looked after.
She doesn't want to go to the shelter. She'd rather stay with us because she feels safe there.
And you lost both of them? You don't know where they are?
I don't know where they are.
By early afternoon, it appeared Mateo's fears became reality. Rescuers pulled the body of a woman from the waters.
The girl was only 80 pounds, man. She can't take the cold, man. So I don't know if she froze to death or she just drowned or what happened. Anyhow, man.
This is why they call it the Death Camp, Mateo says. If it's not the floodwaters, it's the brutal cold of winter. This storm has taken everything dear to him.
I really don't want to talk a whole lot right now, man.
Back here live in Laurel, where you can see they have blocked off this part of Route 1 just near Laurel Racetrack because the waters are still very, very high out here. The good news, if there is any such thing as good news in this story because it ended so tragically, is the fact that most of those people who were in that homeless camp over on the other side of me here on Route 198 spent the night last night in that homeless shelter, or this tragedy could be much worse. Reporting live in Laurel, Horace Holmes, ABC 7 News.
Man, such a tough story, Horace. Thank you.